Hi, how's it going? Today I'm going to be talking about meal prepping and how to accomplish that in the easiest possible way. Now, meal prepping, it doesn't have to be this crazy thing where, you're making like a big batch of like 10, 20 meals. You can really simplify the process of meal prepping, and I'm going to show you how right now. So at its basis, meal prepping is literally just cooking extra food that's not going to be eaten the time that you're cooking it. And so a lot of times when I'm meal prepping, normally what I like to do is cook a double batch, maybe even a triple batch, and then I'll portion the extras out for future meals. That way I'm cooking one time, but I get to eat off of that effort I put in multiple times, either as lunches or as dinners. And it really works out. It's a time saver in the long run. And that means, you may have to only cook 2 or 3 times each week. Or another option is to choose a day that you just meal prep, maybe 2 or 3 meals, and you just kind of spend a few hours putting in that work, and then you can portion out several different meals that you could have throughout the week. So today, what I'm gonna meal prep is I'm gonna make a stir fry, and this is actually gonna be my lunch. So I'm gonna make my lunch, but I'm also gonna make a few extra servings for future meals. When you're meal prepping, all you have to really think about is what's gonna be your protein, what's gonna be your starch or your carb, could also be fruit, and where are you gonna get your vegetables from? And that way we have all 3 of those food groups coming together to create a well-balanced meal. It's going to give you, the protein you need to build muscle, maintain muscle, the carbs that you need to get that energy, able to perform in daily life as well as in the gym, and of course your vegetables to get your vitamins, minerals, and fiber, which will keep us feeling fuller for longer, and it'll give us that more sustained energy over time, helping us prevent a crash. My protein, I'm gonna use tempeh. This is about 3 servings of tempeh. It's about 20 grams of protein. So I'm gonna make at least a serving to eat now, and 2 or 3 servings to eat at a later time. I've also got my starch, quinoa. I chose quinoa because it is a complete protein and it's one of the highest grains in protein. So that will add to my protein content while also giving me those healthy carbs that have fiber to generate more energy throughout the day. Instead of water, I'm gonna be cooking it with a veggie broth, which is a great way to add some flavor to it. As far as vegetables, I've got some mushrooms, I've got carrots, I've got bell peppers, onion, and I have some kale. Now, you don't have to do this huge of a variety of vegetables. I just did this because that's what I like in my stir fry, but it could be as simple as just one vegetable, broccoli, or one of these options. So the idea is we're gonna make extra, and I'm going to portion them out in these containers to be eaten at a later time. And of course, I'm gonna eat my lunch now, and that way, again, I'm cooking once and I'm eating off of it 3 or 4 times. So great time saver. And I'm going to be cooking with garlic too. Just love the flavor of garlic, and I will be adding that to the stir fry. So stir fries are really such an easy way to just grab whatever you got in your kitchen, whatever you've got in your fridge, and just cook it all up and create a meal. As long as you've got your vegetable, your protein, and a starch, you can create a balanced meal and you can meal prep. Also, meal prepping doesn't even have to be full meals. You could always just, chop up your veggies for the day or for the week. Chop up your bell peppers, dice them, put them in strips, your mushrooms, your carrots, your onions, and just chop them for the week so that when you go to do your cooking, the chopping's already done. A lot of people like to just spend a couple hours a week on a certain day just chopping their vegetables and setting themselves up for success later in the week so that they can just grab the vegetables, throw them into the stir fry, throw them into the wrap, the sandwich, whatever it is that you're making. So just keep in mind that meal prepping doesn't have to be this huge elaborate thing. All you're doing is making extra of a meal and then portioning it out in single serve containers. So basically I'm just gonna chop up the veggies, start stir frying the onion, garlic, tempeh, and then once the onions get nice and translucent, start to smell nice, I'm gonna throw the rest of the veggies in, stir fry like so, and then on the side, I'm just going to cook my quinoa per instructions, and all I have to do is portion it out. Super easy, really keeping it to the basics, but you really don't have to make it complicated here. There we go, all chopped up. I know it was a little bit of work, but again, I'm preparing probably 3 or 4 meals, maybe more, just depending on how it all turns out. Vegetables tend to shrink, so ideally this is probably going to be about half of what you see here. As they cook, there's a lot of water in the vegetables that's going to be cooked out in the process. So let's get to cooking. Quinoa. All right, the cooking is done, and so I've got my veggies and my tempeh, my protein, in one container, and I've got my quinoa, my starch, in this pot right here. So at this point, all I'm gonna do is portion it out into these 4 different containers and then this plate so that I can eat my lunch right now. So let's see how it turns out. I'm just gonna do a cup of each of the protein and vegetable mix, see where we end up after that point, and then half a cup of the quinoa, and then just spread the rest throughout. And just like that, I got myself my lunch right now. And I've got 4 meals for later, whenever I feel like not cooking and eating this meal. So that's basically it for meal prepping. All you're doing is cooking food in advance, packaging it up in single serve containers for a later time to save you time and effort later. So what I just did was I cooked 1 meal and I'm gonna be able to eat off of it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So it's a good deal. It's a great time saver, like I said, and it's just a great habit to get in every time you cook. Just get in the habit of cooking double and portion out the leftovers like this so that you can take them for lunches, you can take them for dinners later in the night. Again, this can have so many different looks. I didn't follow a recipe this time. I just made a stir fry, but you can follow recipes, look for recipes online that you want to meal prep. The opportunities here are endless. So hope this helps you guys, and let me know what you are meal prepping, and I'd love to see pictures, because that's always great to see. So hope this is helpful, and happy meal prepping. Peace.